On this week's live stream, the whole world is talking about Squid Game, Netflix's biggest show ever, and we're cashing in on the furor with a fun new game tutorial. Plus, we'll check out some of the hundreds of Squid Game themed game and art projects flooding the Scratch server. All this and more coming right up. Hello and welcome, world. It's Mr. Tomac back again with another Chromeworks live stream. So really excited to introduce our new game tutorial series, which is coming out at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in just 1 hour from now. This is one of our biggest releases in a long time, and I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to get big traction on YouTube and on the Scratch website. The game is not 100% ready yet. I've been having some trouble with the AI, and I'm going to talk to my code guru, Jeffrey, in the next couple of days and get the last couple of things going. But I do have a version of it ready to preview for you guys today. The first couple of lessons don't really involve the AI, so I'm not that worried about having a finished game project. But I will be rushing to get that out the door as soon as I possibly can. And you guys will be the first to know as soon as I get that released. So in a minute, I'm going to give you guys a preview of this game, and then we're going to show you some other stuff. Everyone has been working on Squid Game projects. I am surprised, well, not really surprised, by just how excited everyone has been in the Scratch community about this. Part of the reason is that Squid Game is based on games, of course, right? On schoolyard games that kids love to play. And so because of that, it's a topic that lends itself very well to video game making. Now, this is a bit of a dilemma for everyone because the show itself is not intended for kids, and many of the kids in my audience will not be old enough to watch this. There's some graphic violence and some other inappropriate stuff, and I would suggest that Netflix as well has restricted this content, and it's not something that kids should really be watching. So I've been challenged with how to make a fun game around this that will let kids get into some of the fun lore around this particular series and get them to feel like they're taking part in it without actually watching this thing. I know some of you guys are going to feel a little frustrated by that, but this is really not a show for your average 10 or 11-year-old, and it's something that I would definitely suggest parents have a look at least the first couple of episodes before they let their kids have it. But having said that, there's some great game concepts in here, and I'm really excited to be making a game from this thing. And as we can see by the reaction in the Scratch community, a lot of other kids have also jumped onto this topic as well. So a lot of interesting kind of dilemmas and stuff came up in coding this, and I'll be talking about that in a second. First, let's see who's online today. So over on YouTube, things aren't too busy. If you are lurking online and you'd like a little shout out from me on the stream, please just type in a message and I will give you a shout out. I'd especially love to hear what city or country you come from. We always want to know where our viewers are coming from. A couple of weeks ago, we had a visit from a boy from Malaysia. We've had another kid from Singapore dropping in from time to time. We've had kids from Europe, and one kid from Morocco and Africa a little while ago. So lots and lots of visitors from around the world, and we always like to hear where you're coming from. So do drop us a hello if you'd like a shout out. I see Top Secret Asian, one of my helpers is online here, and I saw a message here from Deck. But pretty quiet there. Meanwhile, over on Discord, some of my regular friends are here. I'm joined, as usual, by Deck from London, England. Hi, Deck.
Hi, Mr. T.
Hi. How are things going there for you now?
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Good, good. Yeah, Deck and I were just chatting before the show got started. Deck's a grade 7 student in England, or Sorry, he's a grade 8th or an 8th-year student
Yeah,
in
it,
London, England. I'm also joined by a former, oh, not really former, but a Chromeworks student who hasn't really been active very much lately, and he's back with us again. Aiden, are you online, Aiden? Doesn't look like it. I have a message here also. So funny animator Jim is joining us also on Discord. He just left me a message saying that his microphone is not working right now, but he might say hello to us in a few minutes. Funny animator Jim's from. Oh, he says there's some electricians in the house right now, so things are a little flaky with his hardware right now. Anyway, the funny animator Jim's a very advanced coder who lives in upstate New York, and he's always a welcome guest here. All right, guys, let's get on to the main event here. So I am going to show you guys my new game. So it's called Red Light, Green Light Scratch Edition. Those of you who haven't had your head buried in the ground in the last couple of weeks have probably heard a little bit about Red Light, Green Light. It's the kids game that's featured in episode 1 of Squid Game. And so it's based on the kids game where someone turns around and kids try to rush towards them, and if you turn around and spot them moving, then you're in trouble. Now, of course, the trouble in this game is a lot more dangerous than the trouble in a regular red light, green light game. I had a real challenge making this game, trying to make sure that there wasn't any graphic violence or any real violent themes in it, but still keeping the flavor of the Squid Game game. So I'm going to show you how it works right now, and maybe you guys can tell me how well I did.
Here is the first game. You will be playing red light, green light.
So we got the creepy animatronic doll that you might recognize
You
from
are
the.
allowed to move forward when it shouts out green light. Stop when it shouts red light.
So in a minute, the AIs are going to start running around on the screen. I'm this character right here in the middle, and you can see that we can bump into each other, which creates all kinds of trouble. So I got killed there because I got bumped by an AI character. Now I still haven't quite cleaned this up yet, but the idea is, so you're not just racing towards the finish line, but you're also trying to avoid the AI characters because they're all storming around, and if they hit you, they will change your XY coordinates, which triggers an elimination in the game. Let's see if I can actually survive around here. Now I've got a little skip here that will get us right into the game, and I'm trying to get in front of everyone and then stop. And then she turns around, and this time I didn't get eliminated, as you see.
Green light.
And there we go. Now I've artificially shortened the game here in order to be able to show it off really quickly. But the actual distance of the game is going to be about 100 yards or so. So this little distance marker here is going to start at 100, and you'll be able to probably keep running for 10 or 15 seconds before you get to the edge. Oh, we're joined by Grayson, who just said hello to us. Good morning, Grayson.
Hello.
So, what are you thinking based on what you're seeing right now?
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of Squid Game type projects, and including one by one of our own scratchers, who I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. Anyone else have any thoughts on this? As I said, it's not quite there yet. I don't have the AIs being eliminated yet, and that's one of the big things I'm going to be adding in a second. If anyone wants to jump in to say something, go ahead. But otherwise, I'm just
To compensate for my red light, green light recreation is just having like kind of a basic club multiplayer
right. So you
that uses like funny animated gems, like cloud strips to make like everything smoother.
So you're going to be making a similar game, but using cloud
Yeah,
variables, right?
similar game.
Okay, and how many people are going to be in your game?
I think for each server, aka like each project, I think it might be like 14 people each project.
14, and that's doable with cloud gaming? Okay.
Say that again. Sorry.
I said that's doable with cloud gaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So looking forward to seeing that. I've seen, as I said, I've seen lots of Squid Game projects, but I haven't seen a single multiplayer one. If anyone in my audience has seen a good cloud variable-based Squid Game project, please share a link with me, and I'd love to show it on the stream as well. Okay. So anyway, that's the pre. Sorry, were you going to say something, Grayson?
Uh,
All right.
oh yeah, Jim mentioned, like again,
Mm-hmm.
that I was gonna make a cloud leaderboard, and yeah, I'm almost finished with it. I just, got back to it like yesterday. Kind of forgot about it until like yesterday.
Yeah,
So
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'd love
almost
to.
finished.
Yeah, I'd love to put that tutorial on the stream sometime. It's something that's definitely that a lot of our users are definitely interested in seeing. So that's great. Um, all right, guys. So anyway, there was quite a few challenges in putting this game together. I wanted it to be a scrolling game, and the reason for that. Let me hide my main project here, or my thumbnail here. The reason was there's some challenges with the size of the game board here, right? These guys are running across something that's basically the size of a baseball field. It's like a big gymnasium type arena. And if I was going to set this all to scale, I would have had to make my players really tiny, which wouldn't have made the game very fun. And I would have had to shrink the doll quite a bit as well. So what I ended up doing was creating a scrolling background, and but then taking this edge part here and making it stand still, basically. So the idea is you're standing in one place here, scrolling across the background. Let me show you again. Whoa, we got some issues here. Let's try that one more time.
That's a lot of clones.
Yeah, it is. And you can see the background scrolls. Let's get out of that guy's way. So the background scrolls infinitely in both directions, but when you get close, when you get close, the code kind of cuts off this scrolling, and suddenly you're actually changing X, Y coordinates on the screen. It took quite a bit of coding to figure out how to do that. So to make a game that's kind of a hybrid of a scrolling background with a fixed position and then changing it to a manual position later on. So if you have a look inside the code here when the project's well, we can actually have a quick look at it right now. I've just got an if statement in here that says if the distance is less than 18, and the distance is just a variable that's based on basically every 40 pixels you move on the screen, you move one distance unit. And I just basically created an arbitrary number for that. And the idea is, so once you're free of that, you're changing your x on the screen, because normally you just change your x distance, which is a variable inside the virtual world here. But when you get less than that distance, then you're actually moving across the screen. And then when you're farther away, the original movement script starts working again. Anyway, it took me a while to kind of figure out. I'm not sure if the game mechanic works 100% perfectly, but I think it's a good compromise between being really far away and being close enough to see the action, but still have a sense of having a really big game board. There's another scratcher who did something very similar, well, not quite the same, with a red light, green light game. And let me show you this one. This is one of the best ones I've seen. It's by Super Funny Animator. And so he used a side-scrolling screen, and of course he used the scratch cats here. So this one's quite a bit of fun. You can find the link down in the description. By the way, I've got the links to all these projects down in the description below, and so if you're interested in playing any of these games, this is quite a fun little one. And so you start off with one cat here, and then all the other ones are in the background. And you can see they're all being kind of taken out randomly. This is kind of what I want to get going in my game that's not quite working yet. It's a very smooth game. This is actually a really nice little bit of coding here. I'm actually going to copy this one over into the chat here in case anyone wants to have a look at it right now, because it's definitely the best of the red light, green light games, other than mine, of course. that I've seen on the server here. So I pasted that into both chats if you guys are interested in having a look. And that again is by Super Funny Animator, who is quite a slick coder here. I've been very impressed. I also wanted to show you a project by one of our own Chromeworks members, Jaren Jackpot. Did something based on Game 2 of Squid Game, which, for those of you who haven't watched it, and a spoiler alert, guys. So for those of you who haven't watched it, it's a traditional Korean game where you're taking a cookie and out of that's in a kind of a form. It's been baked with a little impression stamped on it, and you're trying to cut the shape out of the bigger cookie without cracking the cookie. A fun little game that's become a huge viral sensation in Korea and probably elsewhere as well. I saw a little news segment the other day about how everyone's playing this game now, which is I guess it was originally a fairly obscure game that people hadn't played since they were kids or whatever, but lots of people are playing it in those cafes and things like that are hosting this challenge as well. And so I bet we're going to be seeing that here in North America as well, and in Europe pretty soon as well, because this is so popular. So he's captured this quite nicely. So you lift the lid off the container and you've got a shape here, and you've got a little needle in your hands, and the idea is you have to try and cut out the shape here without going off screen. It's a game of patience. And anyway, I'm not going to do the whole thing here, but if you go off, the first time you go off, it cracks the shape a little bit, and if you do it more than 3 times, then you lose the game. So a nice little Squid Game project that I was actually really impressed with, and that is by our own Jaren Jackpot. So thanks, Jaren, for sharing that with us. Let me show you some more Squid Game projects. There's just so much stuff out here. This is one of the more ambitious ones that I've seen, but I just don't think it works. The scratcher who put this together, his name is Lasokar Scratch, and he tried to put the entire Squid Game, all like 6 of the challenges in here. Yeah, 6 different mini games in here. But the problem with it is if you have to sit through endless screens in order for anything to happen. Let me just show you quickly. Let's go play. And it starts off in the play area here. He's got a really funny little character here. It looks a little bit like a South Park character. And the thing is, you have to sit here waiting and waiting and waiting to play the game. Then as soon as you die, there's no way to skip through and go back to the game. So if you die in game 1, you have to sit through another minute of stuff here to be able to play the game. So this is just intro stuff that unfortunately there's just no way to get past. Oh, and Jaren just messaged in on YouTube, and he's very excited to see himself on the stream. And you should be, dude. You did a great job with that game. All right. So, again, we're still waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing's happening. So, score points for being ambitious enough to get the whole game in there, but... Okay, so now we're into the red light, green light segment. And again, we can't play yet. So a little lesson about game design here, guys. You've got to have ways so that after the first time, the first time you can force people to sit through these kind of introductions and stuff, but after that, you want to be able to skip through and get to the actual game part at some point, or no one's going to play your game, dude. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you someone else's take on red light, green light. Once we get through this interminable thing, we're probably not going to see any more of this fellow's games because it just takes too long, and I'm probably going to die before I get through this one. So here we go. I think, yeah, finally. And so you're just playing alone on the playing field here. He's drawn his own little animatronic doll. It's very cute. The animation's really nice. Whoop. And I think I just got killed there. Nope. He's got some funny voice, a funny voice thing here where the pitch of the voice changes. All right. Anyway, I'm just going to get killed here. There we go. So high points for ambition, trying to get the entire game in here, and it looks like our user here worked very hard on the project, but a few interface glitches are taking away some of the fun. Tug of war will be crazier, says Jaren. Yeah, there is a deadly tug of war game in here, and I would have loved to see Lassicar's take on it, but as I said, we just can't jump to that part of the game, so that's unfortunate. Let's have a look at another project here. This is one called Squid Game by Bill Bokeh. And this has the another visual element from the game, the black gift box. And let me show you this one. So this, I'm trying to remember which version this is. Oh yeah, this is another take on, oh, yeah, this is another take on Red Light, Green Light. I actually like this one quite nicely. I wish there was some animation in the graphic here, just moving the legs around or something. And there's the other problem I have with this version of the game is the doll turns around and shoots you, it's not timed to go with the song, and the song, of course, in the game is what tells you that you are at the position where she's about to turn around, and so there's no warning at all, so which makes the game very difficult. And as long as you're super slow, I guess you can win. But you can see that her turnaround is kind of random here. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's another take on Red Light, Green Light, and here is yet another one. So here's one by a user named Maple Red Panda, and just another fun little take on the game here. And so the AIs just take very, very ginger steps forward here. So this one actually looks more like the Squid Game background than even my game looks like. I think that so high marks for the artistic concepts in this one. I like this little "You Lost" animation too. That's funny. So this one has a lot to go on for it. I think the art is actually really original and quite lovely. Gameplay and animation, not so much. Let's try winning and see what happens here. What? I didn't even move. Okay, this game's got some issues as well.
No,
All right.
Mr. T.
Yes,
Mr. T,
Deck.
for that previous game, it has a countdown, and you have to get to the end at the top.
Oh,
See, it has
you're supposed to.
15.
Oh, I didn't even notice
You
the
have to get to the
countdown.
end by 15 seconds.
Oh, and so that's why I lost. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but I don't. So let's see if this is even possible. I really want to win this. Darn it. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, here we go. Well, the timer's running down. Can I make it? Okay, so I made it. All right. So that's a tricky one. I didn't realize there was a timer in there. That's interesting. All right, let's look at one more Squid Game. So this one has two different game concepts from the game in there. One of them is Red Light, Green Light. And this is by Raptor Trainer 2011. And let's have a look at their take on the game. So to move in this one, you're just hitting the space bar. You can't actually move backwards. You can only move forwards. So a one-button game. The Scratcher made their own animations here, which I love. Anyway, a nice little project. Oh, the timer's about to run out on me. I think, oh, I lost. Okay, so there's another one with a timer element to it, so that you have to get to. So again, it's not just about being careful, but you have to be a little bit reckless if you want to get across the board before the timer runs out, or you lose the game no matter how careful you've been. All right, here's another Dalgona challenge, the cookie cutter one. This one by a user named Carlsville. And this one's interesting because there's a red slider here, so you just have to click. I don't think it even matters on the screen where you click. You just have to click, or you have to click when, if I remember correctly, you have to click when this slider is in the green, and if you don't, then it's considered an error. So that's an interesting little take on it. Oh, I gotta click here on the button. There we go. So it's all about timing rather than accuracy. There we go. We're getting this one. Oh, I missed. Yikes. And then it shrinks. Then the green area shrinks after the first one. That makes it more challenging for sure. Uh-oh. Now I'm in trouble. All right. I'm dead. So that's actually, I really like this version a lot. This is a fun little take on the game here. And this is another red light, green light game by Chacoma 2021. So this is a fairly straightforward one as well that just uses green suited scratch cats. Time's running on here, so I'm just going to skip through some of these. And here's another one by someone named 4BO Luminant. Or let me show you the username here. And this one isn't really a game, it's just an animation, I think. So I wanted to show you how some Scratch artists were also working with this one. And so just a fun little animation. I really like this one a lot. So it's not just game makers who've gotten into this Squid Game craze. We've got some artists doing some stuff as well. And I have a few other artists here who've done some stuff. This is someone called 003 who's done a very nice little sketch. So showing off their art skills here. And here is a Friday Night Funkin' animation. Really nice. This one's quite cool, actually. And last but not least, we've got a guard here. Another art project, and if you click on it, it changes its costume. So, bravo to everyone in the Scratch community who's jumped aboard and made this. There's hundreds of other games on there. You just have to search up Squid Game, and there's no end to projects to look at here, and some really fun stuff out there. So, as I said, my version of the game, part 1 of the tutorial, will be released at 11 o'clock, and in just half an hour. And that will take you through basically the character movement part of the tutorial. Next week we'll be animating the doll and adding some other visual effects. And then in week 3 we'll be adding the AI, and hopefully I'll have my AI problems sorted out by then. So the final game is not going to be ready for release quite yet. I'm hoping in the next week, and you guys will know as soon as I'm ready to do that. Okay, so a couple other things I have today. My 3 of my co-op students were off this week, but Abraham was hard at work and he created some great content for me. So we were talking about scrolling backgrounds, and so Abraham wanted to show you a different way to do scrolling backgrounds, and so using glide commands rather than move commands. And so this is a project called, let me show you the actual project. Where did it go here? Going Bananas. This is a project that was made for Scratchtober, which I talked about last week. Let me get to the right screen here. So this is a project by a very prolific Scratcher named CB, who does a lot of great animations and stuff like that. He's quite the animation whiz. Deck here is saying, by the way, that the Friday Night Funkin' graphic was great. Oh, CB, Fun Animator Jim says CB is actually part of the Scratch team. I didn't know that. So he's an MIT employee. I wasn't aware of that. He's done some amazing work, by the way. Let me show you some of CB's projects. Very, very prolific. Has done. Let me show you all of his projects, or he or she. I'm not sure about the gender anyway, but you can see all kinds of animation stuff. So please do check out CB's work sometime. Just an amazing Scratcher. And so this is a project made for Scratchtober called Going Bananas, a really fun little animation. Just a fun little disco animation here. So Abraham was interested in this one in particular because it had a scrolling background and because it used a different coding mechanism to do that. So I asked Abraham to put together a little tutorial on how to do background scrolling in this project. And I'm going to go to that right now.
Alright, today we will be looking at the Scratch project made by CB called Going Bananas. As you can see, it's just a banana dancing with a bunch of bananas in the background that moves past it. Now we'll be creating our own moving banana background. First, we shall be, when the code is started, we will make the banana background move to 0, 0. This will cause it to be in the center and move to the left, while not being in somewhere else, so it wouldn't mess up the code. Next, we will make it go to the back layer, although in this case it doesn't quite matter whether it's in the back or the front, since this is the only sprite that we have. Here it is. And next we shall be causing the ghost effect to go to, let's say, 75. That will cause it to be slightly transparent and make it show itself. Next we will be creating a clone of this, and after the clone is created we will make it glide for 3 seconds to let's say negative 460. That's not 460. This will cause it to go all the way from here to around here, which will cause the back of the background to appear like that. Now we will cause it to hide itself when it reaches here. It will hide itself. And now we'll move on to the clones. Let's see, when I start as a clone, first it will hide itself and also get the ghost effect in there. And let's say after a bit of time, after the first set of background has had the chance to move, maybe about like 0.1 seconds, it will move itself all the way to the right side of the screen. And then it can show itself. And after that we will make it let's say glide just like this screen did for 3 seconds, but this time we make it go to 0, 0. And then after that we will make another clone of this clone that will just basically be this part of the code, or at least borrow the glide feature from it, which will cause it to go all the way to the left side of the screen from the center. And then this should delete the clone. Let's see what we got. Very nice, it works. And that's how you make the moving background from the going bananas on Scratch.
Aww. All right, I remembered my microphone for once. All right, so that's a little example of a different way to do a scrolling background using glide commands. And you can see that no matter what you're doing in Scratch, there's always multiple ways to do it. So Crazy Kirby Boy, who's AKA Thane from Florida, is live with us right now in the Discord, and he had a new project he's working on that's inspired by Ben's remake of Super Smash Bros. So I was going to. So hi Thane. There's going to be a bit of background noise. Hi. And so
yeah, I'm in the car.
Yeah. Okay. So Thane is actually driving right now. Tell us a little bit about your project, dude, and do it quickly because this noise is really annoying.
Yeah, okay, so I made the Super Smash Bros. Game, and, so right now I only have, like, the battle engine set up.
Okay.
I'm working on this project with Chew. He's also a part of the Chromeworks community.
Okay. And
So,
yeah, I'm trying to get it going on the screen here. Okay, here we go.
alright, so you can move around with WASD and arrow keys. And I made sure to keep my animation smooth. And then you can also jump.
Nice.
Also, with the first player, if you hit someone, you hit someone with space, and with the second player, you hit someone with mouse.
Right. Wow. So
And then there are these variables down here. These show like the more this goes up, the farther your character will blast. So, and then if I move forward and then I punch him again, he goes farther.
right.
That's all I have right now, though.
Yeah. Okay, Thane. There's quite a bit of noise there, so I'm gonna cut you off there. Yeah. So thanks for showing that to us, Thane. So it's
On this week's live stream,
I just keep doing the
whole
wrong
world
button.
is talking about.
I just keep hitting the wrong button here. Oh, something got moved around. No wonder. Okay. So anyway, really smooth animation. I was quite impressed by what you did there, Thane. And part of that is that you've obviously learned quite a bit about coding in the last couple of years. Thane is just 12 years old, and he's doing some really, really great animation work and stuff like that now. So hats off to Thane from Florida for showing us that project. We'll be checking in with him as he continues with that, and hopefully he'll have a finished game to show us in a couple of weeks. All right, guys. I have one more video project to show you today, and that is another project by my friend Abraham, the co-op student. And Abraham's going to start doing regular video game reviews for us. And he started off with a platformer, the Mega Man platformer. So let me show you that.
Hello there. Today we'll be looking at the Mega Man platformer by SCRYYZ. As you can see, the game, here it is. The top right bar is the enemy killed list. It is out of 24 enemies, as in there are 24 enemies to kill in the entire game. Not the, like, once you reach 24 enemies killed, the game ends or anything. And there's the top left, we have the health bar. For some reason, half of it is grayed out. For that reason, I do not know why. Maybe they were intending to add something, but as I was playing the game, I did in fact not find anything that increases your health. One thing to mention here is the light posts. As you can see, when I go behind them, I go behind them. This is because they are on a front layer compared to the Mega Man, which gives the illusion that they are, well, in front of Mega Man compared to us. Which is why I believe this game is pretty well made. Now, one thing to say about this game is it is incredibly simple. You basically just run around and shoot these guys. Up to 24 of them, actually, and well, that's about it. You don't really do much in terms of platforming, besides from jumping maybe a few times. Like, right here, I do a few jumps, but that was about it. Oh, I saw here. I believe that was the 2 times that I actually used the wall jump feature in this entire game. Which makes me feel like it was a bit of a wasted feature, but it's whatever. These skyscrapers are also pretty well made, and just looking at them makes me wonder if they actually got these sprites from somewhere else, or if they actually spent all the time at just creating these sprites, which would explain a lot, like mostly about why like there's basically no variety within the enemies. They're the same enemy over and over again, and they do the same thing, shoot at you. It can get a bit boring. Here's the last enemy, it's coming up. And that was it. 24 out of 24 enemies. No end screen or anything. If you liked, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
So, I was just reading up about SCRYYZ here. He says that this game actually took him over a year to put together. So, I have a feeling that he probably designed this art himself, though if there's any Mega Man fans out there, maybe you can tell me whether he ripped this art from somewhere else or not. But this is quite a labor of love for this particular scratcher here, and it's getting some good love here. Let me show you the project. It's got 34,000 views here, and let's have a look inside here and look at the graphics. So where's those backgrounds? Well, that's not it. Well, he's got some other stuff going on here as well. So where are the backgrounds hidden, I wonder? Look at that. All these elements have their own code on it. So I'm not sure where all the game elements are, because they don't appear to obviously be... Huh. Yeah, just a whole bunch of little elements here. So whoever... the scratcher here, Scratch SCRYYZ, seems to have just put this whole game together just using textures and stuff, it looks like, because I can't actually see any particular screens here that just have a rendered background that might have been ripped from the game. So I have a feeling that this project has all been made by the user, and if anyone has any more input on that, please let me know. But this is a really cool project. The chat was talking about it quite a bit as well while the video was showing, and it's and they were remarking on the smoothness of the animation and just how nicely it's put together. There are some problems with it. The gameplay could probably be improved, as Abraham mentioned, but overall a very, very nice project. So so big kudos to SCRYYZ. I don't know how to pronounce that, or whether there is really a way to pronounce it. Anyway, so that is all the content we have for you this week. So I would love to have some feedback from you guys, by the way. If anyone has a game they'd like to see Abraham review, he's going to be doing some more of these in future weeks. Please drop me an email, and also drop me an email if you find a particularly interesting Squid Game project. I'm going to be looking out for these in the next couple of weeks, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of these. So my email again is info@chromeworks.ca. And please drop me an email, or just send me a message in the YouTube chat. I do monitor those messages, and so so if you just send a message there, I'd be happy to chat with you guys and meet some more members of my viewing audience here. All right, well, that is it for this week. I will be back next week with part 2 of our tutorial series, our Squid Game tutorial series, and we'll be doing the creepy animatronic doll, which is just called It, I think, and we'll be doing a couple of other little tweaks to the game. This is going to be a 3-part series, as I said. So really looking forward to hearing your reaction to this. I worked really hard on this, and I'm fairly happy with the game. And I will be releasing the game very soon for you guys. So send me your own Squid Game projects. If you've made one and you want to show it on the stream, then go ahead. Or if you're just making something cool in Scratch, send me a message, and I'd love to show it. Until then...
Yeah, I'll send a couple projects I'm working on too, but
yeah,
I'll have to send it later because I'm also going somewhere, like Thane.
Okay.
You know? So,
yeah. That was pretty impressive that Thane was actually able to be a guest on our show while in the car like that. There's
yeah, while in the car and able to stream.
Yeah. So that's pretty wild. There's some great modern technology for you guys. All right. So I will be back next week, guys, and every week straight through till Christmas. So we'll see you next Saturday. And in the meantime, keep on scratching, guys. Bye now.
Mr. T,
Yeah. Yes.
I found a scratch project,
Oh,
a Squid Game one.
okay. I was actually just signing off here, so I'll show that next